Welcome to Getting to Know God. I'm Trevor. We want to thank our sponsors, William Ford Publishing, William Ford LLC. And we want to talk today about the greatest lie ever told. And I'm pretty sure that when you hear the term the greatest lie ever told, there are some lies that come to mind, and some are bigger than others. Some may be something as simple as when we say we'll be right back, or oftentimes in our community when someone say they're on their way, or um, but we have these lies that we tend to tell, and we have these lies that we tend to accept. But I want to talk today about the greatest lie that was ever told, because it's different, and you'll understand why I say it's different when you start understanding not just the lie itself, but the hurt and the harm that comes from the greatest lie that was ever told, and how and why people tell this particular lie. So the greatest lie that was ever told is what you don't know won't hurt you. That lie is told very often from a large range of people, but and I say it's the greatest lie that was ever told largely because one, mostly because it's directly opposed to what God has said. God said that his people perish for lack of knowledge. And so that lie says that knowledge isn't important. It says that knowledge doesn't matter. And God says that the reason why his people perish is for lack of knowledge. And so when you put those two things together, someone's not being truthful. Either it's man or it's God. And I don't have to tell you which one I stand firm on. So why do people perpetuate this lie, and how has this lie affected people over the course of history of man? I call it the greatest lie ever told because too many people have bought into it, and it can be easily disproven to be true. I can't think of a single situation that I was better off in not knowing as it pertains to my health, my wealth, my finances, my relationship. Being in the dark has never proven to be. I've never found out something to say, man, I hate I found that out. Because the thing about it is because you can't fix a lie. So the truth is your friend. Knowledge is your friend. And the more knowledge you have, uh, the more you can make an informed decision, and so you can understand how to change situations. But being in the dark has never been a good thing for anyone. So one of the things that I want to talk about is that uh, how this lie is being applied. Because now in society, they're applying this lie to books, which is interesting because um, they're now saying that certain books should be banned, certain books should not be carried in certain places or whatever. And I can understand the concept of some books may need to have a age appropriate reading format. Like everything else, some movies are G, some movies are PG, some PG-13, some R. So I don't mind um, books having the same type of rating system in order to help us to protect our young people. But when you flat out ban books, there's something um, cynical about it. And the reason why I put it in that form and fashion because being a person of color, being a black man, um, and coming from a culture that wasn't allowed to read, um, it gives us a certain type of feeling about it. Because here's what we know: books have always been a source of knowledge. And I'm talking about before this country was even established. Books have always, being able to communicate and being able to read and write has always been a, a key fundamental to success, because it was a way to transfer knowledge. It was a way to transfer wealth by being able to read, and by being in the know. And so when you think about society, and you think about how it's evolved, even from its earliest days when things were not necessarily put in the book form, even today, everything of value has always been written down. I don't care if it's a recipe. If it has to be written down, it has to be preserved. So the thought process that books uh, don't contain knowledge is ludicrous. And so when you think about, so what is it that society is trying to do, and why are they trying to rearrange our thought process when it comes to books? Well, books hold knowledge. Um, Books hold so much knowledge in that even when the creator of the universe saw fit to leave us instruction, he thought enough to write it down for us to put it in books. The written word has a certain type of power that it can harness. And I'm going to explain it to you this way. Because when you read something, it has a different effect opposed to you actually seeing something. Um, for those of you who remember during the time period in which we used to get newspaper, reading the news has a much different effect upon a person than seeing the news. And reading the news and watching the news is very, very different because books make you imagine, videos make you wonder, books make you use your imagination, and videos make you wonder, well, how did that happen? Or is it true? I'm gonna give you an illustration. If I read a book and the book says that she has the most beautiful eyes that um, I've ever seen, her eyes could be blue, they could be hazel, they could be brown. I have to use my imagination in order to visualize what's beauty to me. But if I show you and you look, it's suggestive. So here's what society has done. They've taken videos and images and created images in our subconscious, and it removed our ability to imagine. It has hindered our ability to imagine. And so there's a power in books that society knows and recognize that we have to get back to. There's a power in being able to read and being able to think and being able to imagine certain things. It stimulates your mind and creates a certain sense of creativity that you don't get from sitting and watching videos all day, watching TikTok or whatever it is that we're watching. But if you sit down and actually spend time to read, it creates and it stimulates a part of the mind that we have start to neglect. And so we tell this lie. Um, Ignorance is bliss. What you don't know don't hurt you. And I want us as a people to sit and think about um, who doesn't it hurt? When when I was sick, um, I can't imagine saying me not knowing I'm better off just not knowing. If you have tax debt, no one's going to tell you you're better off not knowing. If your car is acting up, nobody's going to tell you you're better off not knowing how to fix it. If your refrigerator's going out, you're better off not knowing how to fix it. You're better off by not knowing. So when they say what you don't know don't hurt you, it's a lie because what we have not known has truly been what hurt us the most. By not knowing certain information, by not knowing how to the world works, it's actually been our greatest stumbling block. So don't buy into that lie. So one of the things I want you to think about is that when people want you to remain in the dark, you have to ask yourself why. What is it that they don't want you to know? Why is it that they don't want you to know it? And so make sure that every day that you're growing and you're studying and you're learning and you're coming to know something. Like I said, I'm going to close this video with what I always say. There's a million ways to get to know God, but there's only one way to get to God. May God bless you. May God keep you. We'll see you on the next video.